Hello and welcome. It is just wonderful to have you with us. You are listening to a very special edition of Senior Life Stories.
It's a real pleasure to be here.
And today we're doing something a little different. Usually on Senior Life Stories, we look back, right? We share memories.
We do.
But today I want to look forward. I want to talk about the story your body is writing right now, specifically the story your joints are trying to tell you.
That's a great way to put it. Because joints really are the story keepers of our movement. Every step, every bend, every time you lifted a grandchild, it's all in there.
And for so many of us, that story is becoming, well, a painful one. It's about stiffness. It's about aches. And that brings me to the real, the hook for today.
Right.
We all have this narrative in our heads, don't we? You hit 60, maybe 65, you wake up and your knee hurts.
And what's the first thing you say to yourself?
Well, I guess this is it. I'm just getting old. We treat it like it's inevitable, like gray hair or, taxes.
That is the single biggest misconception we need to challenge today. The inevitable decline. It's this idea that our bodies just have an expiration date and our only job is to sort of manage the breakdown.
But it feels real. I mean, it feels inevitable when your knee is screaming at you.
Oh, the pain is absolutely real. But here's the thing. While wear and tear is a factor, physics is physics, the chronic debilitating pain, the loss of mobility, that is not a mandatory part of aging. You just have to passively accept.
Okay, see, that's a big claim because everyone I know my age has something that hurts. Are you really saying that's preventable?
I'm saying that a huge portion of what we blame on old age is actually something else entirely. It's a set of specific nutritional deficiencies and metabolic problems.
So we're blaming the calendar when we should be blaming the pantry.
We should be looking at the pantry. Exactly. And that's empowering, right? You can't turn back the clock, but you can change what's in your pantry. You can fix a nutritional problem.
All right. So that's our mission for this deep dive. We've gone through a lot of research, some really fascinating stuff, to pull out a specific protocol. This isn't just eat your veggies.
No, this is much more targeted. We're going to unpack an 8-nutrient strategy, the actual building blocks and maintenance crew for your entire skeleton.
And I have to tease this right up top because this is the part that really blew my mind. There's a secret here, a synergy secret.
The synergy is everything.
Most of us, we take a multivitamin maybe. We take a little of this, a little of that. But you're telling me there's a specific combination of two nutrients that when you take them together, it's a whole different ball game.
That's right. It's a biological case of 1 + 1 = 3. Mm-hmm. If you take them separately, you might not get the benefit. You might even cause a problem. Mm. But together they prevent your joints from literally turning to stone.
Turning to stone. Okay, that's a terrifying image. We will definitely unpack that. But first, the important part.
Yes. We have to be clear. We're educators. We analyze research to help you understand your body. We are not your doctors.
Absolutely not.
Nothing we say today is medical advice. Everyone's body is different. If you're in pain, if you want to add supplements, and we'll talk about why this is critical later, especially if you're on medications like blood thinners,
you
have to talk to your doctor first.
Safety first, always. Okay, let's get into it. The root causes. Why do we hurt in the first place? Beyond just, I'm getting older.
Right. Let's look inside the joint. It's not just bone on bone. You have the ends of the bones and they're capped with this smooth, rubbery stuff. That's cartilage.
The shock absorber.
The shock absorber, the brake pad. It lets the bones glide. When that cartilage wears down, you lose the glide. You get friction. That's osteoarthritis.
And pain.
And on top of that, you get inflammation. The body sends in the troops to fix the damage, but they cause swelling and heat. It's like a little fire inside the joint.
So wear and tear plus fire. Got it. But the research we're looking at today pointed a huge finger at a culprit I would never have thought of. Not for my knees, anyway.
Sugar.
Now, my doctor asks me about my activity level. He asks about my weight. He doesn't ask me if I had a Danish for breakfast.
And that's a huge gap in the standard approach because the data is crystal clear. High blood sugar is directly chemically toxic to your joints. And it's not just about weight.
It's not just the extra pounds putting pressure on the knees.
No, that's part of it, of course.
Right.
But this is a chemical process. We have to talk about something called glycation.
Okay, break that down for us.
Imagine pouring maple syrup over a sponge, a nice flexible sponge. What happens when that syrup dries?
It gets sticky and hard.
And crunchy.
That is exactly what sugar does to the proteins in your body. It attaches to them and makes them hard and brittle. Collagen, which is the main protein in your cartilage, is supposed to be flexible. Sugar makes it crunchy.
So the sugar is literally caramelizing our cartilage. That is a perfect, if slightly horrifying, analogy.
Yes.
It's gumming up the works, and rigid things don't bend, they break.
And this isn't just a theory, right? There are actual conditions this causes.
Oh, absolutely. The research is full of them. There's something called diabetic hand syndrome.
I've never heard of that.
It's where the skin on the hands gets thick and waxy, and you actually lose the ability to straighten your fingers or press your palms flat together. That is pure glycation. The connective tissue has stiffened.
Wow. And I've heard of frozen shoulder. Is that related?
Heavily linked to insulin resistance. It's that same stiffening and inflammation just in the shoulder capsule. But the most extreme example, the one that really shows the damage, is something called Charcot joint.
Charcot joint. What's that?
It's when nerve damage, usually from high blood sugar, means you can't feel your foot properly. So you twist it, you injure it, but the pain signal is broken. You just keep walking on it.
Oh, no.
You literally grind the joint into dust. It leads to this severe catastrophic deformity.
That's a horror story, but it really drives the point home. Joint health is metabolic health. You can't separate them.
You cannot. If you are pre-diabetic or have insulin resistance, your joints are swimming in a toxic bath. Before you even think about supplements, step one has to be getting the sugar under control.
Okay. The very sobering reality check. But let's say we're working on that. We're cutting back on the white bread, the soda. Now we want to rebuild. Let's get to that synergy secret. The powerhouse duo.
Yes. This is the absolute core of the protocol. If you remember nothing else, remember this relationship.
And that duo is vitamin D and vitamin K. Okay, vitamin D, we know that one. The sunshine vitamin.
The celebrity vitamin, yeah. And for good reason. It's more like a hormone, really. It has effects all over the body.
So what's its main job for an achy knee?
Two big things. First, it's the fire chief. It helps regulate the immune system, so it calms down that inflammation we talked about.
Okay, so it dials down the fire.
Right. And second, it is absolutely critical for bone health. The research points to a big study from 2013. It was a 5-year study, which is really significant.
5 years is a long time to track people.
It is. And what they found was that people who were deficient in vitamin D were far more likely to have their knee pain get worse over those 5 years.
So a deficiency is like hitting the accelerator on joint decline.
You are leaving the gate wide open for degeneration. And here's the kicker. It all connects back. Vitamin D deficiency is also strongly linked to insulin resistance.
Ah, so if you're low on D, your blood sugar is worse, which means more of that glycation, that crunchiness.
It's a vicious cycle. Everything is connected.
Okay, so sources. Sun, obviously. But, a lot of us live in cloudy places or we wear sunscreen.
And we should. Plus, as we age, our skin gets much less efficient at making vitamin D. A 70-year-old makes a fraction of the vitamin D a 20-year-old does from the same amount of sun. So diet becomes key.
What should we be eating?
Fatty fish is the gold standard.
Yeah.
Salmon, mackerel, tuna.
I can do salmon.
Fortified milk, eggs. The yolk is where the D is. And interestingly, mushrooms.
Mushrooms.
They're the only plant source that makes vitamin D when they're exposed to UV light, just like we do.
That's fascinating. Okay, so we've got vitamin D. It's helping with inflammation. It's helping us absorb calcium for our bones. But this raises a question I've always had.
Let's hear it.
We're told to get more calcium, but I also hear about calcification of the arteries. Or bone spurs. That's calcium in the wrong place, isn't it?
That is the perfect question. It is the calcium paradox. You want calcium in your bones to make them strong as rock. You do not want it in your arteries or your joint cartilage.
Because then the shock absorber becomes a rock.
It becomes a rock. It leads to grinding, stiffness, and incredible pain. And here's the danger. Vitamin D helps you absorb calcium into your bloodstream. If you just take D by itself, you have all this calcium floating around with nowhere to go.
Like a dump truck full of bricks with no address.
Exactly. It just dumps the bricks wherever it can.
Yeah.
In the arteries, in the joints, and that's where its partner comes in. Enter vitamin K.
The traffic cop.
The traffic cop. This is the big breakthrough finding from Tufts University. Vitamin K activates a special protein. It's called matrix GLA protein.
That sounds very technical.
It is, but think of it like a superhero. This protein's job is to sit on all your soft tissues, your cartilage, your blood vessels, and act like a shield.
A shield.
Actively repels calcium. It pushes it away and says, nope, you can't land here, move along. But here's the catch. That protein only works if vitamin K is there to switch it on.
So no K, no shield.
Okay, the shield is down,
Right.
and the calcium can land anywhere it wants. Vitamin K also turns on another protein that actively grabs calcium and cements it into your bones.
So that's the synergy.
That is the synergy. D brings the calcium into the body. K tells it exactly where to go. One without the other is incomplete. Together, they're a complete system for skeletal health.
That is just, it's so elegant. It makes so much sense. So where do we find this traffic cop vitamin K?
Green leafy vegetables. This is your kale. Spinach, collard greens, mustard greens, also broccoli, Brussels sprouts, asparagus.
Now, I know I should eat more kale, but honestly, a big raw salad can be tough on the system as we get older.
That's a really valid point. And the good news is you don't have to eat it raw. In fact, vitamin K is fat soluble, meaning you need to eat it with a little fat to absorb it properly. So lightly sauteing your spinach in some olive oil is actually better than eating it plain and raw.
That is great news. I can definitely do sauteed spinach. So a piece of salmon for the D on a bed of spinach for the K.
You've just put the synergy on a plate. It's the perfect orthopedic meal.
I love that. Synergy on a plate. Okay, so that's the big two, D and K, to prevent the calcification. Now let's talk about rebuilding the cushion itself. Let's talk about the collagen builders.
Right. We protected the joint. Now we need to supply the building materials for the structure. And that means collagen.
And the main player here is a familiar friend, vitamin C. I think of vitamin C for a cold, not for my knees.
Most people do. But your body literally cannot make collagen without vitamin C. It's a required ingredient. Think of it like you can't make a cake without flour. Vitamin C is the flour for cartilage.
It's a glue.
It is the absolute essential glue. And the research on this in terms of pain is really encouraging.
Yeah.
There were studies showing that people who consistently took extra vitamin C reported lower pain scores.
Okay, that's good.
But here's the thing. It took 6 to 12 months.
There's the catch. We want the pill that works in 20 minutes.
Of course. And an ibuprofen does work in 20 minutes because it just blocks a pain signal. It's a mute button.
Yeah.
Vitamin C takes months because it's doing a construction project. It's physically rebuilding tissue.
It was a long-term investment.
It's a long-term investment that can reduce your need for those painkillers, which all have side effects, right?
Yeah.
Stomach issues, kidney problems. If eating more bell peppers and strawberries can get me off those pills, that's a huge win.
It's a great trade. And sources are pretty common. Citrus, kiwi, red bell peppers.
Red bell peppers are a superstar. More vitamin C than an orange, ounce for ounce.
But I remember a note about cooking.
Yes, a vitamin C is delicate. It hates heat. If you boil your broccoli into mush, you've destroyed most of it.
So raw is best? Or lightly steamed?
Keep the crunch. If it's crunchy, the vitamin is probably still there.
Good rule of thumb. Now, there was another collagen builder on the list, niacin, vitamin B3.
Yes, niacin. It's also critical for producing the collagen that makes up our tendons and ligaments. But it does two things. It builds and it soothes.
It's an anti-inflammatory too.
It is. It helps reduce swelling while also providing the raw materials for repair. And it has this fantastic bonus benefit for cardiovascular health.
How does that help my knee?
It opens up the blood vessels. And you have to remember, cartilage has terrible blood supply. That's why it heals so slowly. If you can improve blood flow, you're improving the delivery of all these other nutrients we're talking about.
It's the supply chain.
It's the supply chain. Niacin helps open up the highways.
And where do we get niacin?
Chicken, turkey, tuna, and salmon again. Salmon is really the all-star here. Also mushrooms and peanuts.
So a good turkey sandwich is actually medicine for the joints.
In a very real way, yes.
Okay, let's pivot to the fire itself, section 4, the anti-inflammatory shield. We've built the structure, now let's put out the fire.
Exactly. This is for when the joint is just angry, swollen and hot. And for that, we need the fire extinguisher.
And that would be omega-3 fatty acids.
Absolutely essential. You cannot have a conversation about inflammation without omega-3s. The research highlighted a major study from The Lancet, which is, one of the top medical journals in the world.
What did they find?
They looked at patients with rheumatoid arthritis, which is an autoimmune condition. It is inflammation on overdrive.
The extreme case.
The extreme case. And they found that a diet high in omega-3s led to significant improvements. Less swelling, less morning stiffness, and here we go again, a reduced need for pain medication.
So it's like a natural anti-inflammatory drug.
It works on the same chemical pathways. And guess what else it does? It improves insulin sensitivity.
Of course it does. It all comes back to sugar.
It all comes back to sugar. Nature is efficient. The same things that cool inflammation also help with metabolism.
So, sources. We know about fatty fish, but what about people who don't like fish or can't afford it all the time?
Great question. Plant sources are excellent, but you have to be smart. Flax seeds are number one.
But the research had a specific instruction for flax, right?
Yes, they must be ground. If you eat the seeds whole, they will pass right through you. Your body can't break down that hard outer shell.
So all those whole flax seeds on fancy bread are just for looks.
Pretty much just for decoration. You need to buy flax meal or grind them yourself in a coffee grinder. Then you can sprinkle it on your oatmeal or in a smoothie.
Good to know. And what about chia seeds?
Chia seeds you need to soak. Let them absorb water and turn into a gel. That unlocks the nutrients.
Okay, now paired with the omega-3s was vitamin E, the protector.
Vitamin E is a classic antioxidant. Its main job is to fight something called free radicals.
I hear that term all the time. Free radicals. What is a free radical actually doing to my knee?
Okay, think of a piece of metal left out in the rain. What happens to it?
It rusts.
It rusts, and the rust eats away at the metal. Free radicals do the same thing to your cells. They cause oxidative stress. It's like your cartilage is slowly rusting.
So vitamin E is the rust proofing?
It is the rust proofing. It sacrifices itself to neutralize those free radicals before they can damage your cells. It's a shield.
I love that. Rust proof your joints. Where do we get it?
Nuts and seeds, almonds, sunflower seeds, hazelnuts, avocado shows up again here, and spinach.
So a handful of almonds as a snack is a good habit to get into.
An excellent habit. It's joint protection in a nutshell, literally.
All right, let's move into some of the finer details. Cartilage and nerve health. And this is a really important distinction because not all pain is the same, is it?
Not at all. And this is a huge realization for many people.
The question was, sometimes the pain isn't a dull ache. Sometimes it's a burning or a tingling. Is that the joint or is it something else?
And very often it's something else. It's the nerves. People think their arthritis is getting worse, but what they're feeling is neuropathy. It's the wiring, not the hinge.
It's the wiring, and that needs a different set of tools.
A different set of tools, specifically the B vitamins. B6 and B12 are the nerve networks vitamins.
Let's start with B12. What's its job?
B12 maintains the myelin sheath. Think of a nerve as an electrical cord. It has the copper wire inside, and then it has the plastic insulation around it.
Right.
Myelin is that insulation. Without enough B12, the insulation gets frayed and wears thin. The wire becomes exposed.
You get short circuits.
You get short circuits, zaps of pain, numbness, tingling. And here's the problem for seniors. We get very bad at absorbing B12 from our food as we age. Our stomach acid declines.
So even if we eat enough, we might not be getting it.
Exactly. It's a huge problem. Sources are all animal-based. Meat, fish, dairy, eggs. This is one where supplementation is often necessary for older adults.
And B6.
B6 helps with nerve inflammation and can prevent some of that diabetes-related nerve damage. You find that in chickpeas, bananas, salmon, and chicken.
Okay, so B vitamins for the wiring. And there was one more nutrient in this section for the cartilage itself. Vitamin A.
Vitamin A, the cushion keeper. There was a mouse study mentioned that showed vitamin A helped reduce cartilage damage in mice with osteoarthritis. It seems to keep the cartilage cells themselves healthy and alive.
Where do we find that?
Two ways. From animal sources like liver and eggs, or from plant sources in the form of beta-carotene.
The orange stuff.
The orange stuff. Carrots, sweet potatoes, pumpkin, mango. Your body converts that beautiful orange pigment into vitamin A.
So baked sweet potato fries are actually good for my knees.
Very good for your knees.
Okay. We have covered a ton of ground. I mean, 8 nutrients, all these different mechanisms. It feels a little overwhelming. My grocery list is getting really long.
I get it. It can sound like a lot. And we know many people are on a fixed income. You can't just go out and buy wild salmon and organic everything.
So how do we make this practical? Let's get to the action plan.
Let's simplify. Forget the long list and just think, eat the rainbow, but on a budget. First, green for vitamin K frozen spinach is incredibly cheap and just as good as fresh. Throw it in an omelet.
Okay, I can do that.
Second, orange for vitamin A. Carrots and sweet potatoes are 2 of the cheapest, most nutritious vegetables you can buy. Third, red and yellow for vitamin C. Buy what's in season. Bell peppers, oranges. Cabbage is cheap and packed with vitamin C.
Right.
And for your healthy fats, for the omega-3s and vitamin D, canned salmon and sardines are your best friends. They're a fraction of the price of fresh, and they are nutritional powerhouses.
So it's not about being fancy. It's about being smart.
It is entirely about being smart and nutrient-dense. And for omega-3s, a big bag of ground flaxseed meal costs a few dollars and will last you for months.
That feels much more achievable. But the research had one final, very important point. You can eat the perfect diet, but if you're just sitting in a chair,
it's not going to work. Movement is non-negotiable.
Talk about motion is lotion. I love that phrase.
Cartilage is like a sponge. It has no direct blood supply. The only way it gets nutrients in and waste products out is by being squeezed and released.
So when you take a step, you're squeezing this.
You're squeezing out the old fluid. And when you lift your leg, it sucks in fresh, nutrient-rich fluid. If you don't move, that sponge just sits there and stagnates. It starves.
So walking is literally feeding your knees.
Walking is how your joints eat. But I know the catch-22. What if it hurts to walk?
Exactly.
You have to find movement that works for you. Swimming is number one. The water supports your weight. A stationary bike, even just sitting in a chair and gently extending and bending your knee, circulates that fluid. You have to move.
Motion is lotion. That's going to stick with me. Okay, let's do a quick fire recap for everyone. The big takeaways.
You got it. Number one, control your blood sugar. Stop caramelizing your joints.
Right.
2, the synergy secret. Vitamin D and vitamin K must work together. D for absorption, K for direction.
The traffic cop.
3, rebuild with vitamin C and niacin. 4, put out the fire with omega-3s and rust-proof with vitamin E. And 5, don't forget the wiring. Check your B vitamins.
And do it all while moving.
That's the formula.
You know, this whole conversation, it really makes me question what we expect is normal. And I want to leave our listeners with this thought. We all say, I'm stiff, I'm sore, I must be getting old. But after all this, how much of what we call aging is actually just a long-term chronic nutritional deficiency? Are we getting old or are we just malnourished?
That is the million-dollar question. I believe the body has an incredible innate capacity to repair itself. It wants to heal. If we just give it the right raw materials, we might be shocked at how good we can feel for how long.
Knowledge is the first step to mobility. You said that earlier, and it's perfect.
It all starts there. Once you know why, you can figure out how.
Well, we truly hope this deep dive helps you write the next vibrant, mobile, and maybe even pain-free chapter of your life.
Absolutely.
This has been a presentation of Senior Life Stories. Thank you for letting us be a part of your journey to better health.
Thank you for listening.
Until next time, keep moving and keep thriving.